Hey, friends! Here in the United States, Thanksgiving is on the way, which puts one in mind of food. Now, there's food, and then there's food. Most of us are happy just making whatever, but then there's fancy food, gourmet food, Novelle cuisine. Way before the Food Network, gourmet food was something long thought to be out of the reach of mere mortals like you and I, until Julia Child came on the scene. She was a real cordon bleu chef, an expert in the art of French cooking, who made fancy food on her TV show and brought it all down to earth so the rest of us could not only understand it, but enjoy it as well. Then came this movie in 1978, a murder mystery comedy set in the world of gourmet cooking called Who is Killing the Great Chefs of Europe? The movie stars George Segal, Jacqueline Bisset, and several familiar British character actors. Our story goes like this. We first meet the eccentric gourmet food critic Max van de Veer, and we see how he starts his day at a gourmet magazine. Max is a powerful restaurant critic who can make or break chefs who aspire to the world of high-end gourmet food. His doctor has also warned him he needs to stop eating the stuff, or he'll croak. Now we meet this here sexy chick, Natasha. She's a pastry chef of the highest caliber and has been tapped to prepare a special pastry dessert for the Queen's state dinner. She is also being featured in Max's magazine. Upon arrival at the airport, she finds herself sexy chick-napped. But don't worry, it turns out it's only her ex-husband, Robbie, who needs a favor. He's starting a new chain of fast food restaurants and wants her to help him find a gourmet chef willing to front things in order to give his chain an air of gourmet respectability. But before too long, things start to go off the rails. Max has written an article showcasing the finest cuisine, the world's most fabulous meal, and the dishes individual chefs could contribute to such a dining experience. But some chefs are left out and are all mad about it. Then murder is on the menu, as some of these high-end hash slingers start getting bumped off. Our heroes start chasing all over Europe to try and track down the killer and solve the mystery as more and more high-end chefs get murdered. Who is the killer? Is it the ex-husband? Is it one of the chefs cooking up a grudge? Or is it someone else? And can our former lovers rekindle that spark and get back together? Who is Killing the Great Chefs of Europe was based on a 1976 book called Someone is Killing the Great Chefs of Europe by Nan and Ivan Lyons, who wrote extensively for travel and food magazines, so they knew their stuff. The filmmakers made some other changes too, aside from the title. They also changed the identity of the killer. The book was racier, too. In our cast, we have George Segal as the ex-husband, Robbie. Jacqueline Bisset plays the sexy ex-wife pastry chef, Natasha. Robert Morley plays Max van de Veer, the gourmet critic who runs the magazine. He's a very familiar face. He appeared in The African Queen, as well as Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines, and Around the World in 80 Days. Morley's character in this movie was so indelible, he went on to appear as a similar pompous food expert in a popular series of Heinz soup commercials. We also have John Le Mesurier, another familiar face who cameos here as Max's doctor. Fans of the British comedy show Dad's Army are sure to recognize him. Nigel Havers also pops up as a restaurant counterman. Peter Sallis is here too, that's right. The voice of Wallace from Wallace and Gromit, also a regular on The Last of the Summer Wine. Madge Ryan, who plays Mrs. Beecham, Max's long-suffering assistant, appeared in Frenzy and A Clockwork Orange. Joss Ackland plays Cantrell. He pops up in The Hunt for Red October, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Lethal Weapon 2, just tons and tons of stuff. He even voiced the Black Rabbit in Watership Down, and in 1987, he appeared in the music video for the Pet Shop Boys' hit song, Always on My Mind. The movie also features an international cast including actors from France and Italy, giving the movie even more realism. Director Ted Kotcheff went on to helm Weekend at Bernie's and the original Rambo movie, First Blood. So, all around, a very experienced cast and a knowledgeable director, and a lot of it was shot on location in Britain and Europe. And they spent a lot of money on the gourmet food too, to the tune of 180,000 smackers. And that was in 1970s money. A real French chef who was a master of Novelle cuisine prepared the stuff, so it all looks right when we see it on the screen. This movie reminded me of another one I reviewed recently, The Last Married Couple in America, which also happens to star George Segal. And it features a divorced couple with regrets about splitting up. The movie is funny, of course, and it has its moments, but as a comedy, this one isn't really a laugh-out-loud knee-slapper. It's more observational. Events just kinda unfold before you as you take it all in. It sets up its premise, and the characters bounce around within the boundaries until things reach a critical mass at the end. It's definitely a type of comedy you won't see made today. Well, not in Hollywood anyway. Maybe foreign films might still try, but in Hollywood, pretty much all forms of comedy are dead these days. Thanks, social media. This style of comedy is a bit slower, a bit more laid back, and full of odd characters that range from the sublime to the outright wacky. I liked this one. It's amiable, well-made, and I think it's worth a watch for the comic look at the people inside the world of high-end cuisine. The genius, as well as the egos of some of these people, are right on the money. We see behind the scenes of some high-end kitchens at famous hotels as well. The mystery keeps you guessing, and Morley steals the show. So I'm giving Who is Killing the Great Chefs of Europe 2 3/4 paws. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.